Hey friends, I'm Rhiannon from Drawn by Rhiannon, and today I thought I would give a quick review of last year and then share with you my plans for the coming year. So last year I did do a review of the first 6 months of the year, but I wasn't in a great place at the start of last year. I was really struggling with, obviously started last year in lockdown and we kept going in and out of restrictions. So yeah, if you want to check that video out, it's a little bit negative because it was a negative start to the year. There wasn't really much good things I could say about it. But it did improve, so I thought I would just come on and talk about the good things that happened last year, because it wasn't all bad. There were some good things that happened, so I thought it would be a nice way to start the new year by looking back at the good things that happened last year. So I think the main thing that I need to say as a positive is that I made it through last year. It was my first full year being full-time self-employed, and that's such an achievement to make it through, and I think I don't think I appreciate how much of a big deal that is. I'm really proud of myself for making it through. There were so many times when I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? But I did make it through, it did work out. So I'm sort of on the feeling of if I made it through last year, then, hopefully I should be alright to make it through many more years to come. So a main thing that happened last year is that I really invested in the business. So I finally got myself a proper computer. I'd been using my laptop that I bought when I was at uni. It was absolutely dead, God bless it. So yeah, it was scary sort of spending that much on just one single thing that was just solely for business. But it's honestly been a lifesaver. It's so much faster. I can actually do work on it, which is always good. So yeah, I got a new computer, got a new printer that actually works. If you follow me on social media, you see I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with printers. And last year my old printer, which again I bought when I was in uni, it finally gave up the ghost. So I got a new printer, which has been fantastic. And then I also got new flooring in the workshop and in the studio, which has just made them a lot more workable. In the workshop especially, it's given a bit more warmth because it is absolutely freezing in there in winter. It's still freezing in there, but it's like just about bearable, whereas before it just absolutely wasn't. And then the new flooring in here just makes it easier to clean up, which isn't a very exciting thing, but it's useful. One thing that I did really enjoy about last year, which is something that I'm definitely going to be bringing into this year, is that I did a lot more markets throughout the year. So I went a little bit crazy in August. I think I did 4 markets in August, which was a bit too much, I'll be honest with you, it was a bit much. But I absolutely love doing markets. I love getting out there and actually talking to you face to face. So that is definitely something that I'm going to be bringing forward to this year. One of the highlights of the markets was definitely being awarded the highly commended in the Young Traders Market and being able to go down to the final in Stratford upon Avon. It was an amazing experience. It was wonderful to go down to Stratford, it's a lovely place to visit, and to do a whole weekend of markets in a completely new place, so I didn't know anyone, I wasn't sort of relying on my customers that I already have, and I just got to meet so many new people, and honestly, it was an amazing experience. One thing that was really exciting that I did last year is that I actually got some help with sewing. So I had a lovely lady called Alana who helped me with the sewing on the run up to Christmas. She did a lot of the makeup pads, and honestly it was such a lifesaver. The makeup pads on the whole were the best sellers across all the markets, and I literally just wouldn't have been able to do that without her. So that was amazing, and it felt like a really big step in the business to take on someone else and to actually put money into getting help rather than me just struggling and getting really stressed. I mean, I was still struggling and I was still really stressed, and that is something that I'm really wanting to work on this year. But yeah, it was definitely a lot better with her help. I also had my best trading day ever last year. So on the last day of the Spanish City Market, I had my best trading day ever, so that was a huge boost. It really made me think, okay, people like what I do. I could actually make a living from this. So yeah, that was really lovely. And then yeah, obviously I started my YouTube channel. So this is something that I'm really wanting to continue this year. I had a bit of a break from it last year when I just wasn't really doing anything because of lockdown and everything, and I was really struggling. So this year I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit more consistent, and yeah, that's something that I really want to build on this year. So yes, going forward this year I've not got anything concrete because I get stressed when I have concrete goals. I don't know if that is a good thing not to have concrete goals, or if I should just believe in myself more and not be so scared of failure. Maybe a little bit later in the year I might have something a bit more concrete. But at the moment, so that I don't stress myself out, I've just got some like simple goals that I wanted to achieve this year. So the first one is that I need to update my website. I am actually working on this at the moment. I've made a start on that already. It's getting there. It's a long process, it always is with websites, but basically I want to just make it easier to find off Google so that the online sales can be a little bit more consistent throughout the year. I can get more income from that. The second thing is something that's really important to me, is that I want to draw more this year. So last year I actually only designed 2 new prints, which is crazy because print designing is my favourite part of the job, and last year there were just always so many more things that seemed more important, or I just didn't have the inspiration to draw new prints. So this year I'm really hoping that I'm going to have more inspiration. I've already got a list of like 5 or 6 that I know I want to do, just from having talked to you at Christmas markets and seeing what sort of designs you'd like to see. So keep an eye out for those coming very soon. I'm going to be doing videos along with those because I think it's interesting to sort of get behind the scenes look of how I design a print. So yeah, keep an eye out for those videos coming soon. Like I say, I'm hoping to get a little bit more consistent with YouTube. Ideally I'd like to upload a video a week, but I think that is very ambitious. I don't think I can actually keep up with that, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm aiming for like 2 to 3 videos a month, but if there is any particular video that you would like me to do, then just leave a comment below and I would love to see your suggestions. It would be really helpful for me. Another goal that I've got this year is to get some more stockists. So if you didn't know already, I do sell my work in like real life shops across the UK. They're mainly in the northeast at the moment, just because it's easier for like dropping off. I can just take it in person, but I would really like to get some more stockists this year. I'm aiming to have between 10 and 15 by the end of the year. I've got a list of potential stockists, but again, if there is a gift shop near you that you would love to see my work in, or you think it would be suitable, then please let me know. That would be really helpful, and then I can get in contact with them and see what they think. So following on from what I was talking about the markets, I'm aiming to do at least 1 market a month throughout the year, up until Christmas. Christmas is a whole different thing. But I've got a January market booked in already, so I'm going to be at the Newcastle Civic Centre on Sunday the 30th of January with the Craft and Fleet. It's always great markets. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like in January. I don't know if there's going to be anyone there, but if you're local, it would be really lovely to see you there. And then I'm just keeping an eye out for other markets that I can book. It's always a bit quieter at the start of the year, so I'm basically just waiting to see when markets come up that I can book onto. But I'll let you know as soon as I've got more events booked in. Whereas a little bit contradictory, I'm thinking for Christmas I might actually do less markets than I did this year. It was really full on, so I had my first Christmas market in like the middle of October, I think it was, and then I was doing them all the way through every single weekend until Christmas. It was too much. It's a tricky situation because at Christmas it's basically you've got like 8 weeks to make the majority of your money for the year. So it is very stressful, and my thinking was I'm just going to do as many markets as physically possible to make as much money as possible. The problem with that is I burnt out so bad. I've literally never felt burnout like it before. Start of December I'd say, and I went to sit down at the sewing machine and I was like, I literally just can't. I just can't. And it was scary because I had work to do, but I just couldn't. I was so exhausted. I love doing markets. I absolutely do love doing markets. But when you're doing that many, they are exhausting. You usually have to wake up early. I'm not a morning person at all. And then all the setting up and obviously the trading and then taking down. It's a long day, but it's also like mentally exhausting because you have to be like on all the time. Like I love talking to you, I love chatting, but you have to be like literally your best self for 8 hours. And that, when I say it out loud, that sounds really bad, but it is, honestly, it's exhausting. I don't know if other small business owners, if you could like back me up on this, I don't sound so terrible. But yeah, when you're doing it day after day after day, so I would be doing 2, 3, maybe 4 day weekends. And then obviously as soon as I go home, go back to the studio, I'm making for like 12 hours a day. It was just too much. So this year I'm going to be a bit more selective with the markets I do, because some of the markets weren't that successful. They were really up and down, and some markets Like, I barely covered my costs for the day, and that is just so soul destroying when you put in so much effort and it's basically not worth it. So yeah, I'm going to be more selective with my markets this year, instead of just saying, well, I don't, you know, it doesn't matter what the market is as long as I'm doing something. Like, no, I'm going to be more selective. I'm just going to pick markets either that I've done before and went really well, or that I've heard other people have done and they did well at, instead of just going crazy. So then hopefully I won't get burnout so bad. I might actually be able to have some time off on the run up to Christmas, because between September and Christmas I had 2 days off. That was it, and it was awful. It's not enough, you need rest. So I'm hoping to have at least 1 day off a week on the run up to Christmas. So that brings me to my word of the year. So I'm not usually into this kind of word of the year thing, but this year I've decided that I need something. So my focus for this year is going to be balance. So that is a word that I've chosen, that I'm going to hopefully guide me through the year, and find some sort of work-life balance, because at the moment it's literally just all work. There's no life. So that is my plan. I'm hoping that with some training and all this kind of thing, that's going to be possible. I'm going to like really plan out the year, hopefully be more prepared for Christmas. I don't quite know like what that's going to look like at the moment, because I thought I was really prepared for it last year. But yeah, it's all just experience and trying different things. Hopefully going to be taking on more help with the sewing, because it's not my favourite thing to do, and it's literally all I did basically for the last sort of 4 or 5 months of the year last year. So yeah, hoping to get some more help on different sides of the business. So we'll see how it goes. I want to say I'm feeling hopeful for this year, but not like overly optimistic, because I think that's what got me last year. I was just so excited to be full-time in the business, and I was like, oh yeah, anything can happen now, because I was just being held back by not having enough time, and I just set my expectations too high. And I'm definitely an optimistic person, but there is such a thing as being overly optimistic, and that's definitely what I was doing last year. So I'm trying to be more realistic this year, and just accept that it's great if good things happen, but bad things are also going to happen, and it's just the balance of the two, and to work through it. So that's my plan for the year ahead. It'll be interesting to watch this video back in a year's time and see what happened. But yeah, fingers crossed for a good year, and I hope you have a good year too. If you've got any goals for the year ahead that you'd like to share with me, then just drop it in the comments below and I'll have a read through and reply to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, it would be lovely if you could subscribe to my channel. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!